You know what? I would love to have a better way to test this, but I'm getting sick of one major thing. I should run all the way to the back, but instead I'm going to do this. Everybody, when it comes to the focus tree, keeps telling me Naramon is the best because of that. Kills from melee grant 45% more melee affinity. Yes, this is true if you are using a melee weapon. Now, for 22 minutes, I went into the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught and I did, well, the best way of putting it, mainly because I actually took a screenshot of it, is this. 22 minutes, 9 rounds, yeah, 130. I had 100 and something thousand on this, and somehow managed to make over half of my daily cap in one mission. Not using the Naramon focus tree. This was just playing with other people and just annihilating all for... That was actually a really good 9 rounds. Usually, it's not quite that good, so if we ignore the frame, it's averaging about 40,000 across the 3 weapons. I say average, going between the 36 and the 56. Technically that would be 46, but the 47 there. So let's, for argument's sake, say about 45,000 each weapon for 22 minutes. So equip a frame with a Naramon lens on after jumping back in to make sure that the Naramon tree and everything else saved, because sometimes it doesn't do that. And I also nearly went to the wrong place. I want to go here, and then I want to set this to public, and then I want to go here, where melee kills give an extra 18% affinity, which means, in theory, even 5 rounds here should be great for focus farming, according to what everybody keeps telling me, because the Naramon focus tree has the ability to give you 45% more affinity from melee kills. So, first things first, desecrate at will. I don't really need to go much further than that, apart from hoping that, maybe, okay, it said there was 3 people in here, there's 1. But hopefully, can actually get some decent killing in, and yeah, it's really hard to kill things when they are dying before they get to you. That Banshee by any chance? Yep, actually, a couple of days later, and I just remembered we were busy trying to do something, and it's the perfect time to try and do this. I do believe I still have this equipped, yes, because I just don't go here anymore. I have no reason to go to AKKAD. But with more squads actually available, let's see if we can't get a decent example of this. This is actually pretty hard to do because there just isn't many people going there. It is the best place to level up a melee weapon. I have never denied this. I have suggested this to many people in over time. Best place level a melee weapon is AKKAD. Best place to level a weapon if you are using melee as well as AKKAD. AKKAD is amazing. Yes. Obviously, I'm guessing other people using melee, it will also do this. But let's see if we can't get at least 10, 20 waves would be better, but trying to get that on AKKAD is like trying to pull the teeth out of an infested ancient's toe. And yes, this was done picking up as many of these as I could, just to make sure that everything was as fair as it could possibly be between the two, but I can tell you right now, I am not going to get anywhere near the number I got on Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, and I'm having to work 2 or 3 times harder to actually get to where I want to be. Okay, I thought I'd hit that a little bit too early. After that, as you can see, wait, what was it at before? Because I did empty it, but I have been playing since. So was it that it made 15,000? That's not right. I don't care what anybody says. The Paracesis and Necros made over 30 by themselves. But according to this, it had 30 and it's now got 11. Which is roughly, the 11,000 it made is roughly what Necros made, adding the rest of it on top. You can do the math. No way on this would that add up to the 100 and something thousand I got from one mission. Because there's less enemies to kill, it takes longer, it's the infested, so it gives less affinity anyway, so even using the Naramon focus tree and going to AKKAD for that extra 19 or 18 or adding plus 23% affinity from kills, plus 18% affinity from melee kills, plus 45% from melee kills for the Naramon focus tree. This is why, as I said previously, Elite Sanctuary Onslaught is better than AKKAD for focus farming. A lot of people keep saying, yes, but if you use the Naramon focus tree and you go to AKKAD, yes, it works wonders if you are leveling a melee weapon. You can go there and level a single weapon. You can go there and level frames. It works really well on AKKAD. But for farming focus, even with the Naramon focus tree helping, it didn't help. If I just swapped the tree over and went to Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, that, okay, I'll admit, if I left that in from earlier, it's supposed to start level 60, it usually starts way higher than that. If I went there, used the Naramon focus tree and only killed enemies with melee, it would, in fact, get you more standing. This isn't about whether the Naramon focus tree works. This is just to try to stop people from coming at me and saying, you don't go to Elite Sanctuary Onslaught to level things up, you don't go there to farm affinity, you don't go there to farm anything. Apart from that drop at round 4 that I still haven't got, you go to Eris and you go to AKKAD because it has all of these extra bonuses on it. Then you equip the Naramon focus tree because it gives an extra 45% affinity for melee kills. Yes and no. Yes, Naramon will give you this. Not arguing that. It works really well if you are doing melee only stuff. Works wonders because it increases it from melee kills. And it works great. Apart from the fact that most of my kills in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught are from the Warframe anyway, so really this wouldn't make much of a difference to just the way that I happen to play. So can you please now stop telling me that this with the Naramon focus tree will give you more than this with the Naramon focus tree. Onslaught will give you more using the... anything will give you more if you go melee only. So, yeah. But the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught starts at level 60, usually higher than that. This starts at level 35. And some of the enemies in there were in the 20s, so they're not always 35 to 45. Yeah, it's even going from their numbers, 35, 60, Infested, which give the least amount of affinity of any of the enemy factions, versus every enemy faction that gives you more, though the Infested are also in there, so you still have to deal with the Infested every now and then, but usually you can take them out fairly quickly, and you may lose a little bit on that one round, but that added bonus at the beginning of each round is kind of huge and works wonders. AKKAD, good for leveling frames. Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, I still stand by this. Great for farming focus standing and leveling up a single weapon if you have a maxed out frame to go in there and use it for, and access to the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. It's still one of the best places to go to level things up. Outside of... yeah. Let's not talk about that one, shall we?